Hey, what's going on? Hi, I'm Steve, and I'm doing something completely off-brand right now. I do YouTube live streams. I've been at it for about a year. Um, I do reaction content that nobody else does. Not music, not movies. It's a comedy stream. I react to home shopping channels, but that's neither here nor there. I just want to go ahead and let those who normally watch that sort of content understand that I'm going a little bit off road here. And I'm just going to talk about my beloved Baltimore Orioles, okay? We just suffered our second straight loss to the Tampa Bay Rays. And we're obviously in a very tight situation here. It's a virtual tie for first place now. Tampa has played 2 extra games. They won 1 and they lost 1. When that's the case with 2 winning teams, the team who has played less has a better winning percentage. So we are ahead in the loss column. That means something. To me, if we have 2 extra games, I think we split them, and that means we're still tied, which means we need to, and I should make myself a little bit smaller here. We need to take one of these last 2 games with Tampa, but I'm going to talk about a couple of things that I think need to be talked about for Orioles fans out there. If you might be finding this is what I'm hoping. Maybe you're like me. You're hungry for Orioles content. You're looking around. You search Orioles through the YouTube, and maybe on a given day there might be a couple of uploads. There's one particular podcast, the Locked On podcast, and some other things as well. But, I'm going to throw my hat into the ring here, okay, and give you my 2 cents, all right? Here's the deal. The Orioles are clearly offensively just they're in some sort of like cryogenically frozen state. They're like Han Solo behind carbonite right now. They look absolutely lost at the plate, and this is the number one thing that's happening. Yes, the pitching has not been great. Jack Flaherty has been a bust. Let's not mince words. Jack Flaherty has been a bust. Nobody has any confidence when he takes the mound. One good first start, and then just regression from there. I would say after his 4th start, everyone just started to assume when he took the mound we're in trouble, and that's proven to be the case. And was so again tonight. He started off okay, but the main thing is the offense, and it's killing me. St. Louis, we had this huge week coming up. 4 games with the Rays, 3 games with Houston, and a 7-game stretch. Clearly the biggest week of regular season baseball for the Orioles as they try to take this division down. But man, oh man, what it feels like to stumble just before this Tampa Bay series against the Cardinals, where we lose the last 2 games, we lose the series. 1 game we lose where we leave 12 men on base to Adam Wainwright. No offense, but a pretty washed up pitcher at this point. He came into that game with a 5-12 record or something and an ERA around 8. And we had 2 base runners per inning in every inning he was on the mound, and we could not cash in. And that has been the name of the game all week. We can't score. I believe the last graphic the Apple TV flashed up tonight was that for the last 23 at-bats, the Orioles are 2 for 23. We are hitting under 100 with runners in scoring position. This has been our strong point all season. But really, when you look at it, it's not just that we're failing with runners in scoring position. We're just failing with at-bats. The at-bats, we no matter win or lose during this season, I've watched pretty much every game, guys. I've watched pretty much every game. And even when they lose, the Orioles consistently put together solid at-bats. They never look completely overmatched at the plate. I mean, obviously, you can run up against a pitcher, and it inevitably happens to the best of teams. You know, in a 162-game season, a few times you're going to run into a pitcher who has like a career game, just has it all, and they shut you down. That's to be expected. But Adam Wainwright didn't have a career game. Whatever junk ball lefty that we traded to the Cardinals to get Flaherty comes out and beats us the next day in a game where Gibson only gives up the 2 runs, or I don't know, we lost 2-1, right? Or was it 1-0? Was it even worse than that? Was it even more heartbreaking? I mean, and you just watch in this Tampa series so far, in these 2 games, the first at bat for Adley Rutschman in the Thursday night game, it was clear something was wrong. Adley has proven, since he's been called up last season, to have one of the best batting eyes in the game. He knows the strike zone. And he's so consistent about it. He takes balls, he swings at strikes. And not only when he swings, he usually waits for the right pitch in the right zone and makes very solid contact. He's not always trying to pull the ball and hit it, you know, with some crazy exit velo, launch angle, whatever. He's got no problem spraying it around, but he makes solid contact. He's a solid hitter. But I swear, that first at-bat in the Thursday night game, a 3-pitch strikeout where he looked absolutely lost. He took one wild swing at one pitch that wasn't in the zone, and then the very next pitch he took for a called strike 3. And I immediately said to myself, I don't think I've ever seen Adley have an at-bat like this in his whole career. This is so un-very Adley-like. And it just kept happening. Santander struck out at least 3, maybe 4 times in that game last night. And again, we're just not putting together good at-bats. I know Eflin was really good tonight. I'm not expecting any team, even the Braves, to be able to just easily, score on Zach Eflin. But that's just it. That's why the Cardinals series hurt so much. You sit there and you struggle to put things together against a Cardinals pitching staff that is not good. And you're at home on the eve of the biggest 7-game stretch of the season. I don't understand. They've been playing with such confidence, and not the kind of confidence where it's like, oh, God, one bad thing happens and there goes the confidence. No, it's a very, just easygoing, having fun kind of confidence in this team, because they should. They should feel confident. They should feel good. They've exceeded everyone's expectations, right? I mean, honestly, I'm going to wake up. Well, I'm halfway over around the world. It's already Saturday morning where I am. But you guys are going to wake up tomorrow. And the Orioles are still on September 15th. With 2 weeks left in the season, the Orioles are in first place with the best record in the American League. Now, I know this week has been absolutely horrific. And as a fan, you have every right to feel petrified about a potential collapse. But this is what I want to talk about the most while I do this. And I know nobody's going to come in here live and watch this because this is completely, again, off-brand. But maybe somebody will see it later, okay? Here's the message I want to get across. I am not happy with seeing the reactions from Orioles fans during this tough stretch this week. This team has done so much for us this year. So much. They have done nothing but exceed our expectations. They've done nothing but dazzle us. They've done nothing but grow and get better. And we've gotten to witness them overtake a Tampa Bay team that started the season in record-breaking fashion. Nobody gave us a shot when the season started. Nobody gave us a shot when Tampa got off to a hot start. And even when we took first place, all it was, well, the wheels are going to fall off. The wheels are going to fall off. The starting pitching isn't there. These guys aren't experienced enough. All the stuff to just write these guys off. And they kept winning. They kept winning. Tampa started to win. From like mid-August up until now, Tampa's been on a roll. But the Orioles kept their division, that 2, 3, 4 game buffer the whole time. They were matching them. Okay? While everybody else is in, look at the rest of this league. We're 2 teams 10 games ahead of the rest of the fucking league. Nobody's near us, okay? And yet you just got the sense. The Thursday night game was, and this is where I'm going to speak to the fans now, okay? This is the main reason for this video. I want to talk to Orioles fans. That's why it's labeled an Orioles video. I hope an Orioles fan clicks on it. I hope the message I'm about to give, you spread it amongst your fellow Oriole fans. Look it. Yes, this has been a hard week. Yeah, it's really difficult to watch our hitters struggle, our bullpen come in and cough up a 3-run homer on the first pitch. Stuff that just makes you want to, shut your TV off or close your laptop. I get it. But, my God, do not give up on this team. How dare you even consider giving up on these Orioles? They didn't fold on you. They spent this whole season kicking ass. Okay? Exceeding expectations. Dazzling us. Offensively, defensively. Even the pitching. We've folks, up until a couple days ago, on pace to win over 100 games. We might not quite get there. But even if we didn't win another game this year, nobody had us on 90-something wins, 91 wins, right? Nobody had us on that. Nobody. So for me to immediately after last night's game go on the Twitter and just look at everybody going, oh, there it is. We're done. We're tanking. It's finished. It's over. We're a fraud of a team. How dare you? How dare you fold on this team? They have not folded on you. Yeah, we might not win the division. Yeah, if we get into the wild card, maybe we get swept in 3 games or 2 games by whoever we play. But I will tell you this right now, no matter what the result is, no matter how good or bad things go from here on, it's not going to be a matter of these Orioles not playing their ass off for you, okay? Right now they're going through something mental, all right? And part of that mentality, part of the way to maybe help as a fan is to not give up on your team right now. Don't give up on this team. Name me better teams you've seen. I'm a 46-year-old man. This is the best Orioles team I've ever seen with my own eyes. The 83 World Series team, I was 6 years old. I was too young to understand or appreciate, okay? There have been other good teams since then. The 89 team is a personal favorite of mine because they finished the previous year in dead last, starting the season 0-21. It was the why not season. I was 12 going on 13. It was like my coming of age season. I'll never forget it. And then we had those mid-90s teams with all those like future Hall of Famers. We had a couple of good teams in the aughts, and then as recently as about 6 years ago. Okay? But for the most part, it's been a struggle these last 40 years. Most of my life, the Orioles have been somewhere around 4th or 5th place. It's been tough. Not this year, though. So how can you sit there if you're like me and if you've witnessed 20, 30, 40 years of Orioles baseball? You mean to tell me you're going to give up on this team? You're going to give up on this team? Let me know when you find a team with more heart. Let me know when you find a team with more chemistry than this. Let me know when you find a team that just are just lovable underdogs like this. It ain't happening. This is a once in a generation team right here. And who knows how long we can hold on to some of these players. Our window people talk about, oh, you got a window. Nobody ever knows how long a window is going to last. You never know. Injuries, off-season player movement and stuff, you don't know. Particularly with a payroll like ours. You know, it's really hard to imagine some of these studs that are just getting seasoned are going to remain with us beyond, 3 years. But the point is, you got to embrace what has been a fantastic... This was Adam Jones's retirement game, by the way. Here's a little visual of it. I'm glad the fans came out tonight. I'm glad they did. But God damn it, that stadium was too quiet. As soon as Tampa scored the first 2 runs of the game, it was like 2-0 in the fourth. The place was like a library. You can't fold on the team the second we're losing or the second we're down. That's when you step up and you give them the support. Okay? God damn, they've been working their asses off. This whole team. Now, again, I've seen the struggles. They're hurting right now. They're mentally not there. You know they can do it. You know Adley can hit. You know Santander can hit. But I see them these last couple of games, and they are just completely lost at the plate. Completely lost. It's like every pitch they think they're looking for, it's not the pitch. It's not that they're even making weak contact. They are striking out. They are, and I'm telling you, it's mental. You can't play the way they've played for 140-something games, and then suddenly in 48 hours, as a full team, forget how to hit. I'm telling you, even though compared to other sports, people think baseball isn't as much a team sport because at the end of the day, it comes down to a 1-versus-1 situation at the plate. But no, team chemistry matters, okay? And it's infectious, both when it's going good and when it's going bad. And yes, it's going bad right now, and you can feel it up and down this entire lineup. So when the fans are there and the most noise they're making is between innings because they're playing, thank God I'm a country boy or something, or doing some like find the crab in the shell game on the scoreboard. If that's the most noise the fans are going to make in a game of this magnitude, how do you think that's going to make the players feel? Huh? You need to support this team. I know we're not used to winning. I know we're not used to being the studs. We're not used to having the best record in the American League. Maybe we don't know how to flex our shit. And I'm not saying we have to flex like like we're hot shots. No, I'm just saying, look, we're here. We belong here. Okay? This wasn't a fluke. You don't get to 91 wins on a fluke. Okay? By the way, Poole, thanks for being here. Yeah, and yeah, the way things are set up, it's just the way it's going to go. I mean, most of the time, teams that win the Central are going to have crappier teams because the markets are smaller. It's smaller market teams in these Central divisions. Outside of Chicago and both leagues. You've got a lot of small market teams that, and of course I'm saying, well, small market team, what do you got? I get it. You can work around it. Tampa's worked around it. Baltimore right now is working around it. It can be done. But, when you got a full division of small market teams like the AL Central, it's going to be a lot of canceling out each other's records and winding up with some team going like 83-79 and winning the division. It's a weak division. But hey, anything can happen in the playoffs. Anything can happen in the playoffs. And that's the thing I want to... Let me go in here. I'm going to go in here right now and look at this Orioles. This is the reaction part of this video, okay? We've got 233 comments on the posting of the final score from a half an hour ago. And I just want to see... All right, well, this is good. This is what I want to see right out of the gate. You guys need to relax and get back at it these next two. You can do it. That's encouraging. That's encouraging. But see, then you've got an a-hole like this chiming back with, LOL, we said that after we lost to the Cardinals on Tuesday. How's it been going since then? And that gets 23 likes to this guy's 9. This guy's trying to be positive. This guy comes back with an LOL, we suck, and that gets like triple the positive response. Here's a laughing my ass off. I thought we were at least going to fight. I feel bad for everyone who attended the game. Absolutely embarrassing. That's all you collapse. Look at this. This is pathetic. Really? That's how you feel about a team? What if this series was played in May and then you took a series from May and slapped it on here? Like, what if you just rearranged the order? Look, I get it. It's the fucking pennant race. It's down to the wire. We're playing the team we want to beat the most. We've been beaten twice, okay? But look at how people are just ready to fold. It disgusts me. What kind of fans do you... You're not Yankee fans, okay? You don't have the benefit of polishing like 29 or 30 World Series rings sitting on your mantle. We don't have that, okay? We got 66, we got 70, we got 83. We got 3 World Series. 3. We've been around for 60 years. That's once a generation, okay? And we haven't had one in 40 years. We got all 3 in a 20-year span, and now we're 0 for the last 40. All right? So, no, we can't sit there and just because we have a couple of bad games in a pennant race go, oh, this team stinks. What a fraud. Are you shitting me? You've been following this team all year. How many times have they put a smile on your face? I mean, I can't think of how many times. I mean, every player on this team has done something to personally put a win up there on the board for us. And to see the kind of reaction the past couple of days, it breaks my heart, man. It breaks my heart, the fair weather fan. How can you be a fair weather fan when we typically suck all the time? You guys are acting like you're entitled to like a Willy Wonka golden ticket to the World Series. You're not. We're not. We got to earn that shit. And you know, it's not easy. Okay? It's not a cakewalk. This isn't Murderer's Row, okay? We don't have Gehrig and Ruth. All right? We got Gunnar and Santander. You know? A lot of our wins are 1-run, 2-run wins. We don't go out there and blow people out. We figure out ways to win ball games. And that's what's admirable about this team. On paper, we should not be as good as we are, but we exceeded those expectations by playing fundamental baseball, situational hitting, every guy understanding their role, nobody having an ego on the team, guys like willing to be like, okay, I'm a left-handed batter, and this week we're facing 3 lefties, so you're basically going to bench me all week. That happened to Ryan O'Hearn last week. Did he complain? No. Because he understands, I got a role in this team. And this team gave me a chance. Ryan O'Hearn was DFA'd by the Royals. The Royals! They stink. They need anybody who can play worth half a damn. Baltimore scoops him up, and suddenly O'Hearn is one of the best left-handed hitters against right-handed pitching in the league. But as soon as a lefty's scheduled, he takes a seat. That's just the way our team operates. We don't have these guys with these giant contracts and egos where they can't go like, maybe I should sit this game out. Maybe I should be pinch ran for or pinch run for here. No, everybody is on board with Brandon Hyde. And again, can we at least give this manager some credit for the job he's done? Now, tonight I can sit here and tell you it was tough to watch him make the bullpen changes that he made. I feel like if you were going to yank Flaherty, you should have done it quicker. And then once he did, it's like every guy he brought in immediately made things worse. It all backfired. But normally, Hyde has been fantastic at situational like substitutions, whether it be for a pitcher or a pinch hitter. So, again, look, the Rays on paper, it can't be argued. They have more talent. They certainly have a stronger starting rotation. I mean, we've seen two of them go tonight. Glasnell's going to go tomorrow, and he's probably the best of the bunch. So it's not like tomorrow's going to get any easier. And if we don't win tomorrow, that basically means that fourth and final game, the pressure is going to be incredible. But still, even if we lose tomorrow and just win that last game, we have the tiebreaker. If we end up tied on 162 games, the division is ours. We just need one game. Okay? And secondly, again, we're ahead in the loss column. We've got a little buffer there. So between winning the tiebreaker and then having the buffer, it's not like we're in a virtual tie right now. As long as we win one of the next two games, if we split the next two games, we'll still be the same record in the division as we are right now. But not only will we have the extra two games to play, we'll also have the tiebreaker in case we do wind up tied. So really, it's a no win lead, but it's really like a two win lead. You got to look at these things positively, people. This stuff rubs off, okay? The one thing we've been enjoying for the past 5.5 months is just how relaxed and just with how much fun and courage this team has showed us. Just the aggression, the base running. They've done some amazing things to put the pressure on the other teams, playing without fear. But now they're not showing any of that. And it's infectious. So if they're, as a team, if they got some kind of can't hit virus, what's going to snap them out of it? I was hoping that Kjerstad home run tonight would do it. I thought that Kjerstad home run, even though we lost, that meant something. That shows because he's the kid. He's the inexperienced one. He hasn't had time yet to get acclimated to all this. He's basically been thrown into the fire up against a pitcher who is lights out, and he goes up there and just smacks it out of the yard. And I'll tell you why, because he wasn't in that same mental place that the rest of the lineup is right now. They're trying to do something that's out of their normal routine. You know, they're not working the count. They're just, what's the word? Like, they're flailing. Like, it's like they can't recognize what the pitch is out of the pitcher's hand. I've not seen them take so many called third strikes or flail at a breaking ball in the dirt. I mean, the hitting has been atrocious. So there's plenty of reasons to have your criticisms about the performances of the past few games. Okay? Oh, yeah. And then we got, like I said, this is the biggest week of the season. Immediately after these 4 games with Tampa, 3 with Houston. This is where we show our mettle, okay? This is where we show what to expect when we get to the playoffs. So these games are important. We're all but guaranteed of at least a wild card spot as it is. But do you really want to go in there limping? No. Nobody wants to go in limping. All right? So all I'm saying is, again, if you're an Orioles fan and you're watching this and you're ready to just give up on your team, I want you to put yourself back April 1st, ask yourself this question, and be real about it. If somebody were to tell you that on September 15th, these Orioles would be in first place with the best record in the American League and already guaranteed at worst a wild card spot, how upset would you be? The answer is none upset. You would be ecstatic. You would be so proud that a team that had struggled so hard these last few years was able to turn it around like that and win over 90 games. You wouldn't be having the mentality you have now, which is the worst time to have it. Okay? So quit crying, quit complaining, and support the team. All right? Adam Jones was out there tonight. I bet you he was in there supporting the team. He knows the situation. He follows this team. It was his night. But the fans, man. You fans you gotta hang in there, man. You know, the one impressive thing you can say when the Orioles are on is it's just there's a bravado about the style they play. When they take that extra base, when they force that outfielder to throw in because they don't expect us to take that extra base, and then they wind up throwing the ball away, and then we wind up getting up and scoring off of that play. Like we cause other teams problems, and that's what we need to get back to doing, okay? Put the pressure on the other team. This is a series in our house, and we've lost 4 in a row. I know it's hard, but if everyone's going to sit there and act like it's over, then you might as well just call it 6 losses in a row and a complete loss of the division lead. So find it in yourself. If you're there physically in the Baltimore area, go out there, go to the ball game. If you can't get there tomorrow, get there on Sunday and support this team. And again, no matter what the eventual outcome of all this is, they've already done more than we can ever possibly expect of them, okay? They've exceeded our expectations. We should be proud of this team. Absolutely proud. And to think, assuming that we can keep these core players together of what the future has in store for these guys who are just starting their first or second years in the game. We're in store for some really good baseball. Hello, Jackson Holiday, anyone? Still another potential all-star for the next 15 years waiting in the wings. So there's plenty to be positive about right now. There's plenty to be positive about for the future. Okay? I know our owner sucks. I know that's a big wrench thrown into the works when it comes to keeping a team like this together, paying these players what they're worth. But right now, when it comes to the job of the GM, Mike Elias, when it comes to the job of the manager, Brandon Hyde, and when it comes to the job of all these players, again, the way they've played, picking each other up, time after time after time. And man, we hit 1 4-game slide, and to see how people are reacting, it's rotten, people. You're better than that. How do you expect sitting there going, yeah, I knew these Orioles would finally what is it is this to excuse your own like heart you put into watching this team? Well, you never had the heart. You never had it. You were a phony supporter of a team that got hot, okay? A real fan isn't going to lay down right now. A real fan is going to support them even harder than ever before right now because they need it more than ever before right now. That is what a fan does. Okay? Now, I don't expect a fan to do that if a team is 50 and 112 every year. But when you get a team like this, you better goddamn well show some support, okay? Adley, the only reason I'm making this video is because I just want somebody to pick it up. I want somebody to pick it up, pass it to somebody. Because where is it? Where are the Oriole fans out there? Where are you? We need to talk. We need to rally together here, okay? A postseason is coming up. Whether we're the first seed, the fourth seed, whatever, we can't sit here and act like we're just waiting for an impending doom. We can win these games. We've shown it all season long. Even when we played the Braves, we gave them a run for their money. I think they took 2 out of 3, but they didn't blow us away. We can compete with any team out there, any team. But if they're showing some signs of struggle and then you guys give up on them, how do you think they're going to bounce back? How do you expect? What is it? Tough love? Is that what you want to call it? Because it ain't happening. It doesn't work that way. Show support. Get out to the ballpark. All right? Go to Gunner's Twitter or Adley's or somebody's and show some support to him. Post link on X using hashtags with Orioles MLB. What, this video? I could. I guess I will. I don't know. I'm terrible at self-promoting. But one thing I'm not terrible at is the loyalty to the teams I support. And, man, I'm telling you, through the thick and the thin, and a lot of it has been really thin, these last, for me, it's been about a 35-year love affair. Unfortunately, 83 was a little too early for me. You know the team that inspired me to fall in love with these Orioles? It was the 1988 team that began the season 0-21. 0-21. By the time they were like 0-8, they were the joke of the league. Everybody was already talking about this might be one of the worst teams ever. And then they went another week without winning a game. And then they went another week without winning a game. They were 0-21. The season was over with 141 games to play. 3 weeks in, the season was over. And everybody just laughed at them. They were the laughing stock. And that's when I began to follow them and support them. Why? Because I'm like, I don't know. I guess I'm a fan of the underdog. I've always been a fan of the underdog. Like, yeah, they're bad, but they're not this bad. They're going to win a game. They're going to get better again. So I started to follow them. And wouldn't you know it, the very next season, 1989, the notorious why not season, where they went from worst to almost first. Final weekend of the series, 3-game series against Toronto. We win 2 of 3. We win the division after losing like 125 games the previous year. But we didn't. We only won 1. We fell short. What's going on, Dead Space? So, yeah, I guess that's about all I got to say about it. Again, I just want anybody watching this that's an Orioles fan to just stop thinking about the last few nights and think about this season as a whole. And think about the number of days and nights this team has done nothing but put a smile on your face. And say to yourself, what can I do to repay this team? What can I do to them what they've done for me this summer? Well, I'll give you a very easy answer. Support them. Let them know it's not over. You go through tough stretches. Tampa went through a tough stretch. That's how we overtook them in July. They had a tough stretch. It's going to happen in a 162-game season. But again, if I told you in April that we're in first place still with the best record in the American League, still as of September 16th when you wake up tomorrow morning, it'll be Baltimore with the best winning percentage in the American League with 2 weeks to go. And you guys are acting like you've been watching some shit horse team for the last 5.5 months. Get your act together. How many times has Cedric Mullins done something heroic? Right? How many times has Gunner done something heroic? How many times has Adley done something heroic? How many times has Felix done something heroic? How many times has Santander done something heroic? How many times has Bradish done something heroic? What do you want? You want a team like the Yankees? You want a $350 million payroll with a bunch of overpaid ego, nobody's no teamwork play whatsoever? They wouldn't know how to move a runner from second to third with nobody out if it bit them in the face. All they know how to do is sit up there and either hit a home run or strike out. They have not adapted whatsoever to the modern game, which is now emphasizing more speed and situational hitting. It's not about just sitting there and waiting for the home run. You got to actually do strategic things and do some of the small things to win games. The Yankees can't do that. The Red Sox have failed to do that. A lot of these big teams weren't ready for these rule changes and things that have changed the way people win baseball games or how teams win baseball games. Mike Elias, the Orioles manager, he saw the writing on the wall. There's a reason we moved the wall back in left field. We understood. We didn't have the kind of power on our team to just be hitting home runs to win games. It was the teams coming in to play us that were doing that to us. So we moved the wall back, and it worked wonders because we have good defending outfielders who can manage all that extra, acres of land out there. While, you put Giancarlo Stanton in that same outfield, when the Yankees come to town, it's like watching a three-toed sloth trying to navigate around left field. I think Stanton plays right field when he does play he's normally DHing. The point is, that's the Yankees roster. A bunch of guys who play station to station waiting for a home run. They don't know. There's no fundamental baseball going on there. None. That's why the Orioles are where they're at, and that's why the Yankees are where they're at. Now, if I'm a Yankees fan, I'd be complaining every single day. I'd be like, gee, you pay all this money to buy all these players who stink, and that's why it costs me $800 to go to a ball game at Yankee Stadium. You ought to be complaining multiple times a day with a situation like that. With that kind of money, yeah, you should be, and the way the wild card is set up now, you should be at least getting a wild card every season if you're the Yankees. And yet this year, they'll be lucky to even have a winning record at all. If they can get to 81-81, it'll be, where are they at now? They're at the 74-73. So there you go. They go 7-8 down the stretch. If they go 8-7, they'll have a winning record. 7-8, 500. Either way, awful for a team with that kind of payroll. Okay? So, yeah. There's a team to complain about if you're a fan of them. Don't give up on these Orioles. Let me go back here. For a minute. Hold on a sec. And then I'll be done. All right? I probably should have gone out a little more on top of something here. Go out with a bang. I just want to look through here again. Some of these comments here. I'll scroll down farther. Oh, this guy just told a really funny story about how the Orioles are washed. It has something to do with a car, but no, they really meant the Orioles. Good season, guys. That sounds pretty sarcastic. Sorry, but I'm glad the Rays are doing better. It looks like they deserve it more than us. Honestly, that's your take? A week ago, we're 4 games up on them, looking great. A week later, they deserve it more. Again, in a what, like a 29-week season, 1 week, apparently turns a team from great to dog shit. New low point of the season. There you go. I still love you, my O's. Tomorrow will be better. There you go. That's the kind of sentiment people should be having. Yeah, this guy's hurting right now. Just like all these people out there who are flexing their social media muscles by coming up with something to top somebody else's insult. This guy has the right take. All right? And tomorrow will be better because tonight was absolutely atrocious. We couldn't hit and we couldn't pitch. Our bullpen got absolutely jacked up, and Jack Flaherty, speaking of Jack, well, we made one major deadline acquisition, and it was him, and he's been horrible. What are you going to do? I'll tell you what you're going to do. You're going to skip him next time in the rotation because I can't sit here and watch this guy take the mound again when now the division is basically a virtual tie with 2 weeks to go. I can't sit there with an automatic loss waiting when he takes the mound. Right. So, season is over, this guy's saying. Imagine being in first place with the best record in the league. And your tweet is, after a loss tonight, season is over. Season is over. That's exactly what I'm talking about. We are poverty. Look at this shit. I'm out of words. How do you blow a 4-game lead in the middle of September in 4 days? Well, you lose 4 in a row, and the team chasing you win 4 in a row. And when you play head-to-head, that can happen really easy. Can we show a little backbone, please? Now, see, I'd like to know who this is addressing. Are you addressing the Orioles, the team? Because they've had plenty of backbone for 5.5 months. Or are you addressing everybody else on Twitter who is shitting on this team? It seems like we cannot make anything easy ever. Well, it isn't easy ever unless you're like the fucking Celtics from the 60s or you're like the Yankees from the 20s. There aren't a whole lot of teams, even good ones, that can sit there and talk about how they just coasted their way to a championship. It's a struggle. Sickening. Wake up. Frauds. We are frauds. Nothing else can describe us. That was embarrassing. You pain me. I want my money back. Just unbelievable. Unbelievable. Hang it up now. We're a first-round playoff exit. Bums. And again, this is the take that drives me crazy. If you would have said at the beginning of the season that the Orioles are going to make the playoffs, almost win the division, and then go out in the first round, you'd be like, wow, what a great year of progression it is for this organization. Just 2 previous seasons ago, worst record in baseball. Last season, they started to show signs of turning it around, and then this year, they're a playoff team. That sounds like a rebuilding success to me. But you wouldn't know it looking at this fucking Twitter feed. So come on, people. I know it hurts. I know it's tough. When that game got to 7-0 tonight, I just wanted to close my laptop. I didn't want to see anymore. It hurts. But I had to keep reminding myself, and I'm going to keep telling you guys, you're just going to have to accept some pain, okay? If you want to be a realistic fan of a team that has a shot at doing something. Because if it ain't going to be pain now, it could be pain in the wild card round. It could be pain in the division round. We could get to the World Series and then lose in some heartbreaking fashion. Anything but winning the series usually ends in pain. 29 teams are going to have that moment, whether it's sometime in August, September, whatever. That moment where they realize we ain't winning, our season's over, it hurts. All right? We're not there yet. So stop jumping the gun when we're still in this fucker and we're trying to win something. We haven't been to the World Series in 40 years. 40 years. Look, people, I'm 46. I got news for you. I'm not going to be around another 40 years. I'm not going to be around another 40. I doubt another 30, and I'd probably give even odds on maybe 20. I don't have time to wait another 40 years. You think I'm going to sit here with a team like this and just give up on them because of a few bad games? Get your shit together, Orioles fans. Be proud of this team. They put their asses out there for it. Do you see how this team is busted ass? Have you seen the catches Mullins has made this year? Have you seen Gunnar run around those bases? Have you seen it? They are busting their ass. They've lost their way this week, okay? How dare you give up on them so quickly, if at all? It'd be one thing if they started the year hot, like they went, 35 and 20. And like, wow, this team looks pretty good. 15 games over 500. But there's still like 100 games left, and then they wind up like 78 and 84. I guess they just had it. No, that's not the situation. They've had a full season of playing well. And one bad week. And this is how people react. Oh, it's infuriating. So that's where my anger is. It's not with the team. It's with the fans. I'm trying to say to the team, listen, guys, just get back to the basics. When you have your at-bats, your plate approach, just go back to the basics. All right? I know that may not be easy with Glasnow tomorrow night. The dude's got a crazy arsenal, okay? He's got pitches going crazy angles at crazy different speeds. If you're not sitting on the right pitch in the right zone, he's very, very hard to hit. But we need to get back to extending at bats, working counts, putting the pressure on the pitcher, getting the pitch count up. You know, and eventually that leads to getting a runner on base. Eventually that leads to maybe a steal or a hit and run. And eventually that opens things up. We're not starting. We're not striking the flint to the stone or whatever. We're not starting a spark. We got to start a spark, and then we'll get right back into the zone we were. I swear. So do your part as a fan. When this game kicks off tomorrow night, I want that fucking stadium to be loud as shit. The first batter for Tampa steps in, Yandy Diaz, I'm sure. As soon as he puts one foot in the box, I want that crowd yelling, and I want them cursing Yandy Diaz. I want them I want everything. Bottom of the first batter up. I want to hear the music play. I want everybody to make some fucking noise and show this team that you care, that you believe in them. God damn it, that's the least you can do. I'm signing off. Later.